Hello, Leo. This is your extended reading, and there is a little bit of mystery and the guidance for you to trust in what happens after you have this conversation with a loved one or a partner where you're clearly seeing that the relationship had already gone through a very significant change, and it's like it seems like the beautiful dynamic, the beautiful harmony that you used to have, it's no longer present, right? And I feel like that is clearly showing up here in the extended, because I feel like there's something about your perspectives and how your view of the world is entirely different from their view. So I'm saying that because we're starting with the 10 of Wands, which is straight above the 9 of Wands. And you know, these two cards, often to me as the reader, I see them as symbols of, you know, with the 9 of Wands, this individual path of blooming flowers, right? That you are, you know, it's almost like you are appreciating your own individual path, right? Because you see that there are flowers, yeah, like showing their beauty, but also like keeping you company. And the 10 of Wands, you know, became, I should say, I was thinking about the right verb to use it, but it's like became this card of this beautiful shared path of flowers, right? So it's like if this is an individual path, this to me became the shared path. And that's the real difference, because what I was already seeing for you in the first part with the different dynamic that I was seeing unfold from the Six of Pentacles to the Four of Pentacles, it's like the dance had become stale, or like had stopped entirely. It's like if you sense that you were giving and taking and the other was giving and taking in a very beautiful harmonious exchange, suddenly neither of you had anything to take or to give, right? It's like there was nothing there. The dance floor was empty. There was no dancing occurring. There was no exchange happening, right? And so why do I say that, and how do I connect this with this very beautiful symbolic meaning of these two cards that usually in traditional tarot, they are really difficult cards, right? They are challenging cards because they talk about like exhaustion and just how sometimes you are reaching your limit, right? It's like you have been trying and trying and doing your best, and maybe like not reaching your goals, but then suddenly you collapse, right? These two cards have, it's almost like have that same thread. And the way that these two cards have presented themselves, you know, in the past for me in the readings as this beautiful individual but also shared path of flowers, meaning like a beautiful path, right, to walk through. The way that I'm seeing this, because they are like this and the Wheel of Fortune is the card in between, so this shared path of flowers, maybe in the beginning, when this dance was still occurring, when this exchange was harmonious and beautiful, maybe you, Leo, could, well, maybe you thought that they were seeing the world, they were seeing this path the way that you see, right? It's like you were including them in your vision. You were including them in this beautiful lens that chooses to see this 10 of Wands as a beautiful path of flowers with them in the picture, right? But it's like their perspective is just not the same as yours, right? It's like they're not seeing this as the beautiful path of flowers. It's like they're seeing it as, it's almost like this worn out path, right? It's like this exhaustive path. It's like they were seeing it in a traditional lens. Perhaps they are a more conservative person, right? It's like they're not this magical creature as you are, Leo, I want to say. And just because it's just not in them, it's not their nature, right? It's your nature to be this glowing, shiny person, right? That just sees magic, or it's like you are able to re-signify something that could have been harsh. It's like you're able to see beauty in it, right? And I feel like what happens, it's like whenever you get to this conclusion that it's extremely clear to you that this relationship is no longer fitting for you, right? It's like it's limiting your light, at least. And so you see the difference in perspectives. You see the different points of view that both of you have, right? Of the path, right? And even though maybe you wish that they could see like you are seeing, right? It's like inviting them into your perspective. It's just not in their blueprint. It's just not in their mindset or in their life lesson, right? But it's in yours, specifically because, after the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Nine of Wands. So it's like you're back to seeing this path as a beautiful path of flowers. You want to, and it's meant for you to see this beauty again, to see this beautiful path again, instead of being contaminated with their perspective over your beautiful field, right? It's like if you were, maybe very, it's like maybe very naively you were inviting them into your beautiful path of flowers, and suddenly they just, not poison them, but it's like they kind of were destroying, slowly but surely they were destroying this vision of yours, and imbuing your perspective with their more negative perspective, right, of the traditional Ten of Wands. And so what this Wheel of Fortune is showing, and actually is reminding me of, this Grand Cross aspect that we're seeing in the sky in astrology, actually, that is occurring, especially because it involves the Sun in Leo, right? It's like the Sun in Leo opposing the Moon in Aquarius with this full moon, but also with Saturn in Aquarius, and both of them, squaring the nodes in Scorpio and Taurus, and Uranus in Taurus, and Mars in Taurus. And so I don't want to give too much detail here because it can get, too technical with astrology. But if you're interested in that, look for astrological charts on or readings on this full moon in Aquarius, but which is your opposite sign, right, Leo? But I feel like there is this Grand Cross that it's like this key, right, or this unlocking moment that is going to liberate you, especially from this invitation that you had done to this person, right? And by removing them out of this picture, this is when your perspective is returned to you, right? It's like seeing the Nine of Wands as a beautiful path of flowers instead of this other more contaminated, more negative perspective that they were bringing, right? Because you asked them to come into your space, to come into your perspective, but they just couldn't see the way you did. So now that fate, in a sense, or the stars in the sky, or the planets in astrology, or simply destiny and your own blueprint and how you're supposed to experience this lifetime, works its magic and adjusts things to put you in this, it's almost like returning you to where you belong, to the perspective that you always had. And asking you to trust with the Three of Pentacles that there will be a moment where new people will show up and be like, it's like they will add to your belief, they will add to your perspective, right? It's like the Three of Pentacles talks about like teamwork and a group of people that are interested in adding to one another, or just bringing something that contributes to the whole, right? And so this is what this Wheel of Fortune, after this turn, or if this Grand Cross has, this fateful effect in your life, Leo, it's almost like to clear your perspective, especially because clarity is the main word coming from the sun, right? Clearing your perspective in a way that you find beauty again, that you can see beauty again, and that you trust that there will be others that you can communicate this with, that you can show them how you see the world, and it's like they will be grateful for that, but also it's like they have something to add to it. They have something to contribute to your perspective, right? And I feel like the reason why you're not seeing this yet is because after that, actually like this, we have the Two of Swords. So whatever, turn of destiny occurs that puts you in a, well, I don't want to say a solitary path. It's more like going back to your own perspective, right? One that is singular, one that is incredibly clear and bright and luminous, and, capable of seeing beauty even when others are not able to see it. It's like you are, because you are the sunlight that refreshes the flowers and bring all the flowers to bloom, in a sense, right? So you are the one not only bringing the light, but you are the one able to perceive your effect, right? Your blossoming effect in the environment or in this path, right? And so with this I was going to say the newfound perspective, but it's almost like it's like the return of the beauty in your eyes, or the ability to perceive beauty, right? Where possibly others wouldn't. This is what you are not seeing. It's like maybe if you are returning to this perspective, although you are relieved to just finally have this perspective cleanse from the negative contamination, right? Or maybe the lack of contamination, right? Maybe the lack of presence, even, right? Just having that ghost of somebody that is no longer there, even, right? Just, cleaning that away and being again on your own. It's like you are not seeing that there are others who are going to show up. And it's almost like the same way that, destiny put you back in this position. And, in one hand, it is extremely beneficial for you, right? Because it's like, it's your way to not cope with challenges, but it's like your way to re-signify things, or it's like to interpret the world in a way that is way more lighter, or way more beautiful, and way more positive, right? Because it's in your nature, it's who you are, it's who you're meant to be, it's what you're meant to experience, and how you're meant to see this world. And so when you're back to this situation, this turn of events is also bringing you this, but you're not seeing it yet. And this ties into the Cancer reading, because it's like they couldn't see, maybe, or they couldn't have access to a certain memory of theirs because it was too harsh, or they didn't have the tools to deal with that, right? So they had to prove that they could deal with that now. And I feel like for you, Leo, you are not seeing that. It's not that you are being left alone in this perspective, right? It's just that you are returning to this magical perspective, and that there are others that are going to show up in this path, right? But you have to walk in this path alone, just so that you can send the flowers, just so that you can appreciate this return of this magical perspective. And so when these other peoples are like ready to show up or ready to cross paths with you, it's like there is going to be this it's almost like this click, right? This unlocking of what you weren't able to see, and then being able to see, because the Two of Pentacles comes next. So it's like there's something that it's almost like it's just in spirit form, or it's just like in the hands of destiny that hasn't yet materialized. But as soon as these ones are ready, right? Because it's not just you that have to be ready to, you know, it's almost like enjoy this enough on your own, because when they come to add their stuff, it's like you would be grateful for having the time that you had on your own, right? I'll just leave it at there. But even if you're not seeing, it's like you are trusting that these people are going to show up. And when they do, it's like there is this, as I said, it's like there is this click that it's like it becomes very obvious to you that even if you couldn't see before, it's like this seems like a shared path, right? Because usually what I see with the Two of Pentacles is like footprints, right? Or footsteps. So it's like, it's almost like you had to walk on your own before, right? So that you left a few footprints and they could see and they could follow, right? And then when they are following, or when they are crossing this path with you, it's like for you it become, well, it's the manifestation, right? It's the crossing of the paths or crossing of the footsteps that becomes seen, that becomes perceivable, that becomes materialized. And that is gorgeous, because I feel like that is the merging, that is something also that was coming up in the Gemini reading. Was it the Gemini reading? I feel like it was the Gemini reading. They were, you know, having this beautiful merging process going on between their, you know, lower self and their higher self. But with you, I feel like it's like whenever you're ready, whenever you have walked enough steps alone again, you know, after you have received this perspective again, it's like this is being given back to you so that you can appreciate this before these ones catch up on you, right? Or find you and you find them. But after you see what you weren't able to perceive, meaning the arrival of these ones, it's like with the Eight of Cups ending here, it's like the distinction between this shared path that you thought was a shared path, because you were open to inviting them in, right? Inviting them into your path, but also into your perspective. It's like you were inviting them to see how you see, right? But because it's the 10, it's like, you know, there are 2 5s here that are, it's like it's, even if you wanted them to see how you see, and you've done everything that you could to make them see the magic, to make them see the beauty, to make them see the flowers, and they could only see themselves, or they could only see the negativity or the way down character of this 10 of Wands, right? It's like they didn't see the flowers, they were seeing like dead flowers or something like that. It's like they had a completely different point of view from you, no matter how much you tried to show them your perspective, right? It's like there was this, it's like there's always been this distinction, right? It's like maybe even if you were in an intimate relationship with the Two of Cups, right? Even if you were in this heartfelt relationship, it's almost like the two hearts never completely merged, right? It's like it was always you and them, or them and you, right? And that is the reason why maybe it became stale, or maybe it became like it's like there wasn't enough, it's like a flow to keep this dynamic going, right? um so with the Eight of Cups here, it's like when you see their footsteps and they see your footsteps, these new ones, right, not the one that left, it's like seeing that there is something that is adding to your path and you are adding to another's path, right? Or there's something that you could work well together. It's like there is, it's like it's not a merging of the paths, it's more like crossing of the paths, but in a way that it's blending more. And I want to say with the Eight of Cups is, it's not like, you know, like a romantic identification or attraction or something like that. It could be, but I feel like it's with these ones, especially because first we saw the Three of Pentacles, right? So it seems like it's more like work related instead of, you know, it's almost like you're leaving a romantic relationship, but then what you're focusing on, or what is just ahead of you in this path, it's like something work related, like a collaborative project or something like that, or maybe friendship, right? But either way, with this card, there is emotional connection. I just don't feel like it is, you know, in such an intimate degree or in such a romantic level that you're going to feel like there is this incredible bond. It's almost like there is going to be understanding, there is going to be flow, there's going to be like, it's like this river, right? It's like it just flows naturally. And whenever there is this matching and walking together side by side, it's like there is mutual understanding. There is, it's almost like speaking the same language, right? But it's like speaking the same sensitive language, speaking the same maybe sentimental language, or maybe, you know, the same perspective that is like very, very intuitive, right? Because of all of the water. So it's like it's interesting because I feel like it's yet to be revealed, especially because, you know, we have the Two of Swords. So it's like, don't worry about how this new group or this new person is going to show up in your life. It's like it will materialize when it's the right time, right? But you have to walk a few steps on your own, even, you know, to leave the footprints. But it's like, it's almost like the same time that you are ready to meet this one is because you're also ready to leave behind once and for all this expectation, I want to say, right? Or at least the sensation that this was a possibility, right? Or this was your attempt to share your path with another. And it's just not what is happening. So trust in what you cannot see is also the message that is coming at the bottom of the deck with the Moon card. So I don't remember if the Moon card appeared in the Cancer reading or not, but you know, the Moon is the ruler of Cancer as the Sun is yours. So I want to say, Leo, if you are sure about who you are, what you want, what you don't want, what is, you know, limiting you, or what is exactly that you have to be honest with, you know, with yourself, but also with this person. It's like, this is very clear, right? It's out in the open, is clear as day. But this new part that destiny is playing, it's like, you know, as far as you can know, right? And the rest, you just have to trust, you just have to believe, you just have to, you know, let your intuitive antenna guide you to this connection that just flows, that just syncs, that just understands each other, right? Oh my God, and look what's behind it. Again, the Ace of Swords. I didn't see it. So yeah, it's like the clarity will come. It's just that maybe, maybe we're talking about another moon cycle. Maybe we're talking about the new moon in Aquarius, which is going to be in January uh, or February. So it's like there is something that is yet to be revealed, but you have to trust, right? That the crystal clarity that you're having right now to do this will also come when the time is right. Maybe when another astrological aspect that is as significant as this one for the full moon in Aquarius happens, right? So let's see what the the astrological runes have to add as a final guidance for you, Leo. Ah, okay. So Pisces, I feel like Pisces came out for Gemini. And it's again, it's tying back to the merging of the hearts, right? The merging of the lower self with the higher self. So maybe if you are interested in watching the Gemini reading, maybe it will be helpful to you too. But I want to say this is also connected to this. It's like blindly trusting in what you cannot see, in what is still to be revealed, or it's like that you're not able to crack this mystery yet, but it's just because it's not time, right? Maybe there is another moon cycle that you have to respect, and also listen to your intuition. It's like whatever is, the water is calm and it's silent, it's like just enjoy that, enjoy the beauty of the calm. And whenever you sense that you're, because Pisces is incredibly tuned in, right? And it's like completely immersed in water, so it's like feeling the subtle differences or the subtle shifts in the water. And whenever it's like it's quiet and calm, it's like don't worry too much about it, just enjoy it, right? Bathe in it. So Leo, I hope this was insightful to you. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.